The footage you see here is the moment 22-year-old Leslie Palacio and 25-year-old Eric Rangel Ibarra pull into the parking lot of the Longhorn Casino. It was August 28, 2020, and almost midnight by the time the pair arrived for a late dinner. After their meal and a few drinks, the pair leave the establishment, briefly stopping to have an animated conversation before returning to the truck and exiting the parking lot. But the night is not over yet. The couple has one more stop, Putter's Bar and Grill on East Charleston Boulevard. They can be seen on camera footage arriving at 2:15 a.m., where they had several drinks before leaving again and heading to the Bourbon Street Sports Bar. There, the pair continued to drink, sharing and taking shots of. It was around sunrise when they eventually returned to Eric's home. At this point, Leslie is so that Eric has to help her from the car. Eric shares the home with his father, Jose Rangel, asleep next to his wife in the upstairs bedroom. After Eric and Leslie enter the house, no one really knows what happened. The only clues are that something went horribly wrong. Leslie Palacio fell victim to a horrific crime, the details of which remain shrouded in mystery to this day. By Saturday afternoon, Leslie's family grew increasingly concerned about her whereabouts, having received no response to their numerous attempts to contact her. Araceli Palacio, Leslie's mother, and Nayeli Palacio, her sister, reached out to the Las Vegas Metro Police Department to report her missing. Shockingly, the police department advised the Palacio family to wait 24 hours before filing an official missing person report. Desperate for answers, the Palacios attempted to contact Jose Rangel and Eric's sister, but were met with silence. They even went to the Rangel home, but no one answered the door. An hour later, they saw Eric's mother and sister loading furniture into a truck, but were unable to speak with them. As the Palacio family anxiously waited for the 24-hour mark to pass, Leslie's sister, Nayeli, received a cryptic text message from Leslie's phone that simply read, "I need to tell you some." Nayeli's reply went unanswered, further fueling the family's distress. Finally, on Sunday, with still no word from Leslie, the Palacios filed an official missing persons report. Unbeknownst to the Palacio family, a separate missing persons report had been filed on August 31st for Jose Rangel and his son, Eric Rangel Ibarra. It wasn't until September 1st that officers from the Missing Persons Department connected the two cases, particularly after the Palacio family identified Eric as Leslie's date. A Be on the Lookout Bolo alert was issued, and officers were dispatched to the homes of both the Palacio and Rangel families, which were located just a few blocks apart in a community where the families had known each other for nearly 15 years. As investigators canvassed the area surrounding the Rangel home on Tipper Avenue, they discovered a security camera that captured the family's property. Upon reviewing the footage, they uncovered undeniable evidence that a terrible crime had occurred. The video, recorded on the morning of August 29th, showed Eric Rangel Ibarra assisting a seemingly lifeless Leslie Palacio from his truck and into the house. An hour later, in a portion of the video that was blurred due to its graphic nature, Eric and another man, believed to be his father, Jose Rangel, were seen dragging a body from the home and placing it in the same truck. Minutes later, the truck drove away, and Jose was captured hosing down the walkway. This chilling discovery transformed the missing person cases into a homicide investigation, with both Jose and Eric now missing and their family left behind without any explanation. Armed with warrants, officers and forensic teams meticulously searched the Rangel home, uncovering evidence of an attempt to clean up the crime scene and remove any traces of the murder. Throughout the small two-story house, investigators found numerous pieces of evidence, including blue latex gloves on the living room couch and in the dining area, along with cleaning supplies. A mop bucket in the kitchen contained a stained cleaning cloth, and the mop itself showed signs of a dark substance. Upstairs in Eric's bedroom, the scene appeared to have been disrupted, with items moved around and the fitted sheet missing from the mattress, which displayed dark stains. Eric's shirt hanging nearby had blood drops on it, and his wallet containing his identification but no money was also found in the room. The bathroom revealed 2 blood spatters on the floor, which were sampled for analysis. As the investigation unfolded, arrest warrants were issued for Eric Rangel Ibarra and his father, Jose Rangel. Local media outlets broadcasted their descriptions and images, urging the public to be on the lookout for the 2 men. However, the warnings came too late, and Eric and Jose had already vanished without a trace. A crucial break in the case came when a friend of Eric's, who had known him for 5 or 6 years, came forward with vital information. The friend recounted a recent encounter with an intoxicated Eric at a restaurant, where Eric had asked him if they were friends and if he would do him a favor in the future. The friend, feeling uneasy about the request, had humored Eric due to his state. On the morning of August 29th, the friend received a call from an unfamiliar number. It was Eric, reminding him of the promised favor, and requesting that he bring him gasoline. Eric claimed he was in Utah, approximately 125 miles north of Las Vegas, and couldn't risk being seen on camera. Perplexed by the strange request and Eric's use of a different phone, the friend pressed for more information. It was then that Eric uttered the chilling words that would forever change the course of the investigation. "Because I killed a..." He repeated the confession when his friend expressed disbelief, adding, "I'm for real. I killed a... I'm serious. She's dead in the backseat of my truck right now." Eric's friend, wanting no involvement in the situation, told him he couldn't help due to a prior commitment. He then ended the call, realizing the gravity of what Eric had revealed. Upon seeing the reports on the local news, the friend promptly contacted the police to share his disturbing conversation with Eric. Meanwhile, Eric had returned to Las Vegas and reunited with his father. The pair gathered all the cash they could and fled, leaving no trail behind. On September 9th, after days of searching, members of the Moapa Tribal Police, Red Rock Search and Rescue, and the Las Vegas Metro Police Department made a grim discovery in the Moapa Valley near the Valley of Fire State Park, approximately 60 miles from Las Vegas. Hidden behind a bush, about 2,500 feet down a dirt road off the Valley of Fire Highway, lay the remains of Leslie Palacio. The scorching desert heat had taken a terrible toll on Leslie's body, which had turned black and suffered extensive damage from insects. Investigators initially identified her by matching the clothes she was last seen wearing in the surveillance footage, a striped top and blue jeans, to the garments found on or near her body. Disturbingly, Leslie's pants were missing, and her thong-style underwear had been put back on incorrectly, with the thong portion serving as the waistband. Her pants were later discovered in a nearby bush. Leslie's body was transported to the state laboratory for further examination and an autopsy to determine the cause of death. Due to the severe decomposition caused by the harsh desert conditions and high temperatures, coroners were unable to ascertain the precise manner in which Leslie had died. The day after the heartbreaking discovery of Leslie's remains, her family, friends, and members of the community gathered for a memorial service to honor the young woman whose life had been so cruelly cut short. It was a devastating end to the hope that Leslie might be found alive. As for Eric Rangel Ibarra and his father, Jose Rangel, they had vanished without a trace. There were no reported sightings of the men anywhere, leaving investigators and the public to wonder if they would ever face justice for their alleged crimes. Months passed with no news of their whereabouts until January 19, 2021, when Jose Rangel unexpectedly turned himself in at the U.S.-Mexico border crossing. Officials from the San Isidro Border Patrol Station near San Diego, California, swiftly arrested him and notified the authorities in Las Vegas. Jose waived his Miranda rights and agreed to be extradited, expressing a desire to return to his family. When questioned about Eric's whereabouts, Jose claimed that the two had parted ways in Mexico, and he hadn't had any contact with his son in months. Investigators noted that Jose was cooperative from the outset of their interviews, although he initially provided a watered-down version of events to minimize his involvement. However, when confronted with the security camera footage, Jose recanted his original story and offered a more detailed account. According to Jose, he had been working in the garage early on the morning of August 29th, preparing to take his wife to a church event later that day. He heard Eric and Leslie enter the house and stumble up the stairs. Approximately half an hour later, a shirtless Eric descended the stairs, dragging Leslie's lifeless body behind him on a bedsheet. Eric told his father that Leslie had and died, and in a state of panic, he insisted that they needed to dispose of the body. Jose claimed that he helped Eric remove Leslie's body from the house to prevent his wife and daughters from becoming involved. He stated that upon examining Leslie, he saw no apparent injuries, blood, or vomit on her body, and noted that she was only partially clothed, with her pants missing and her underwear awkwardly positioned around her waist. After assisting Eric in placing Leslie's body in the car, Jose grabbed a water hose and began spraying the gravel outside as his son drove away. He maintained that his actions were not a conscious effort to destroy evidence, but rather a result of his stunned state. Believing that Eric intended to take Leslie's body to Utah to dispose of it, a distraught Jose sought solace by visiting his other daughter at her nearby home. To his surprise, Eric arrived at the house shortly after, behaving erratically and threatening to kill himself or Jose. Eric also warned that people might be coming to harm the family. Fearing for their safety, Jose chose to flee with his son, returning home to gather their cash before heading to California and eventually crossing the border into Mexico that evening. During their drive, Eric refused to discuss the events of that fateful night, only reiterating that Leslie had died from and that he had consumed an excessive amount of alcohol. Ultimately, Jose accepted a plea deal, admitting guilt to the misdemeanor charges of destroying evidence and being an accessory to commit murder. He served 205 days in the Clark County Detention Center before his trial, and was sentenced to a total of 2 years in jail, with the time already served counted against his sentence. The lenient charges and sentencing sparked outrage within the community, and even among members of the district attorney's office. Chief Deputy District Attorney John Giordani publicly criticized the Nevada legislature, asserting that treating the dumping of a young woman's body like trash and assisting a murderer in the aftermath of such a heinous crime as misdemeanors was unacceptable. Jose Rangel served only an additional 8 months in jail before being released, having completed state-mandated courses that allowed him to reduce his sentence. His release reignited the anger and pain felt by the community, as he walked free while his son Eric Rangel Ibarra remained at large, evading justice for his alleged role. In the years since Leslie's death, her case has garnered national attention, with 2 television specials dedicated to the search for Eric Rangel Ibarra. Despite reports of sightings in the Mexican states of Chihuahua and Durango, he has successfully eluded authorities, leaving the Palacio family and the community without closure. As the years pass and the trail grows colder, the question remains, will Eric Rangel Ibarra ever be brought to justice, or will the secrets of that fateful night forever be buried in the unforgiving desert sands?